Recently, I've been doing a lot of training with new project managers and older project managers for my e-commerce agencies. And the topic of retainers has come up recently, especially because we have Black Friday, Cyber Monday around the corner. And I'm working with my agencies to build BFCM specific retainers, or retainers that help clients get ready in advance of sales season. And I often get asked, because project managers on the other side of sales, they're specifically in projects, and a lot of them don't really have much insight into retainers. And I get asked quite often, what sort of retainers do you have? How does that work for a project manager or an agency? And most agencies that I speak to, they always tell me they want to build recurring revenue and they want to build the perfect retainer model. So I wrote down a couple of different retainers and kind of what they look like. But before I go through those different retainers, I just want to quickly say one thing. Having worked with one-on-one with over 20 agencies in the last year as an interim or fractional COO, the issue 99.9% of the time is not with your actual retainer offering. Sometimes it's pretty shit, but most of the time it's not. It's the way that you're framing the conversations. Anyway, I'll cover that in a different video. So back on track, Raquel. So the creme de la creme, the promised land of retainers is obviously 100% value-based retainers, where you're pitching retainers based on metrics, and you're saying, your conversion rate is 3% off what it should be for your industry, and based on our metrics, that number looks like an extra 2 million to you a year. We want 200K over the space of a year, over 12 months, whatever that is divided by 12, to help you achieve that metric. And here's a variety of different case studies where we've achieved at least industry average, if not more, for some of our other clients that are in the same industry of you. Spanish is coming along well, as you can see. You're welcome. Dos is a hybrid retainer. I call them pick and mix, maybe because I used to really love sweets, hence the fact that I'm well padded for winter. Not that we have much winter here in Gran Canaria. Hybrid retainer is my personal favorite. That's, for me, is the promised land. That's where you have value-based retainers, metric, data-driven recommendations, 75% led by the agency, very proactive, but then there's a portion of it then that's from the client. So it means that as an agency, you're in the driver's seat. They're the ones that I prefer, and I feel are more scalable and just better all round. The next one to that then is, this is when you start to get into project management territory, is the support and maintenance. Support and maintenance is what most of you agencies have in place, where you're selling hours or you're billing clients for the hours that they're spending with you. Very reactionary, very difficult to manage resources, very difficult to manage capacity, very difficult for project managers to be able to schedule in advance. You get clients that are on these kind of retainers and they're super needy and shit show. So you have support and maintenance retainers. I do agree that once they're productized ever so slightly, you can put a framework around those and provide it as ammunition for a project manager to be able to sell in when a client is looking for loads of ad hoc work. Number 4, I'm not even going to try that. Number 4 is basically the pay-as-you-go block of hours. So a client comes to you and says, I want this wee bit of work, and you say to them, that's probably about 6 hours. You need to buy a 10-hour block, and then the extra whatever hours are left over, they'll sit in the bank for 30 days, or depending on what kind of block of hours and what your terms are. Super great from a admin, financing, invoicing point of view. As a project manager, they just have a template as an invoice, and it just has the different forms of blocks of hours. A client comes in and said, this is what I want done. Okay, it's about 10 hours, it's about 12 hours. There's a 10, 15, 20, 50, 100 hour block. And of course, the more hours they get, the less their hourly rate can be, if that's the business model you want to have. And the final one, which is not really a retainer necessarily, the last two are not really retainers, but I think they're important to add, is emergency charge. So when brands come to you, or clients come to you, and they don't want to commit to anything else, but they of course want this emergency work done, charge them 50% more as a given. Let them know, communicate that with them. When they come through, you send them a deck and say, here's your support and maintenance, here's your pay as you go, and here is your emergency charge. So if you want me to do that work right now, it's going to cost you $150, $250 an hour to do it. Otherwise, buy the block of hours, or better yet, go for the support package, which is a retainer. A few caveats to that: get approval in advance to make sure that anything over a certain amount, you have to sign off with the client. So if they've got a 10, 15, 20 hour block, anything below 5 hours as an agency you can just crack on with, and anything above 5 hours, for example, you just get written sign off from them, obviously using your project management tool, because it's 2020, we don't do stuff in email now. And then the emergency work for clients that are on a retainer or on an ongoing maintenance agreement, I would also, if they want emergency work done same day, I would also charge them 50% extra. So if it's a 5 hour bit of work, I would bill 7.5 hours against their balance. So that's really it. Thought I would share that with you. I have obviously templates for all of this stuff. If there's something you're working on, give me a shout and we'll jump on a call. Take it easy.